In royal banquets, the air is usually thick with tradition, polite conversation, sparkling chandeliers, and the weight of centuries-old ceremony. Guests come expecting formality, rehearsed speeches, and perhaps a toast that honors heritage. Yet on this night, under the glittering ceilings of the royal hall, everything changed. King Charles, known for his discipline and respect for protocol, broke from the expected script. With deliberate words, he stunned his guests by granting a royal title, not to a seasoned noble, nor to an established statesman, but to a young princess whose journey was only just beginning. The moment drew the room into silence. Forks and glasses froze midair. It wasn't just an announcement, it was a revelation. A princess, once seen merely as a symbol of promise, now carried the weight of history in her name. For those in attendance, it felt like a once-in-a-lifetime scene, the birth of a new royal identity in real time. And for the young princess herself, this was the instant when her life shifted from private expectation to public responsibility. Her first royal title marked not only her growth but also the trust of a monarch whose decision reverberates through Europe. But what makes this moment so shocking? It is not the title itself, but the timing. Traditionally, such honors come after years of service, when reputation has already been built. Yet King Charles chose to move ahead, as though signaling that the future cannot wait. Did he see in her the qualities of leadership that demanded recognition now? Was this his way of preparing her, and the world, for a destiny too important to delay? These questions ripple through the minds of royal watchers, adding a layer of mystery to the already extraordinary night. As the applause finally erupted in the banquet hall, all eyes turned toward the princess. She rose, composed yet visibly moved. For the first time, she addressed the gathering not simply as a royal by birth but as a titled figure with an identity of her own. Her words, soft but steady, carried a message of gratitude, duty, and love for her country. Observers noted the way her voice, though youthful, held a strength that filled the room, as though she had been preparing for this role long before it was bestowed upon her. Yet even as the banquet returned to its rhythm, curiosity deepened. What does this new title mean for her future? Is this merely symbolic, a gesture to honor her presence, or is it the opening move in a much larger plan for the monarchy? Guests whispered, some predicting that Charles's decision was strategic, preparing her for leadership, while others speculated that it was a heartfelt act, recognizing her as the embodiment of continuity in a world that increasingly questions the relevance of royalty. The emotional weight of the evening did not lie in the grandeur of the hall, nor in the carefully polished silver, but in the human connection forged between a king and his heir, between past and future. For Charles, this was not a simple declaration, it was a statement of faith. For the princess, it was a moment of transformation, the first step into a new world where her name would no longer just be whispered with anticipation, but spoken with authority. Beyond the banquet, the reaction spread quickly. Across Britain, Spain, Denmark, and beyond, the news ignited headlines. Some celebrated it as a bold and modern move, proof that the monarchy was preparing for a new era with openness and confidence. Others expressed caution, wondering if the burden placed on the princess at such a young age would be too heavy to bear. And yet, for those who witnessed her poise, there was little doubt, she had already begun to embody her title with grace. But perhaps the most powerful reaction was not from the public, nor from the media, but from within the royal family itself. What did her peers think? What did her parents feel as they watched her rise to this new honor? Were they proud, fearful, or both? These questions linger like shadows behind the dazzling lights of the banquet, reminding us that even in palaces, moments of triumph carry layers of tension and vulnerability. By the night's end, the banquet guests left with more than memories of a fine meal. They left having witnessed history in the making. The princess's first royal title was not just a personal achievement, it was the opening of a chapter that will shape her reign, her family, and the monarchy itself. King Charles, with one decision, had signaled both continuity and change, leaving the world to wonder what would follow. The stunned faces, the whispered speculation, the thunderous applause, they will be remembered. But above all, what endures is the image of a young princess standing tall, carrying the weight of her first title, and stepping into the destiny she was born for. In that moment, a love story between tradition and the future was written, one that will echo long after the banquet's lights have faded.